Okay, so we got our branches set up through the terminal, and we're good to go. Now, again, we didn't open Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio yet, and so let's go ahead and do that. I'll close that here. We can run commands like .NET run, we can do npm run dev, we can do all of that at the terminal, just so you're aware. All right, let's close out of some of these windows, open up Visual Studio Code. My project is already, I think, loaded up. Git repository has found the parent folders, and yes, we would like to open that. I think that's the first time I've seen that message, and maybe it's because I was already open. Okay, well, I was going to say we can close out and come back in. It looks like I don't have anything open right now, so I'm going to open the folder, go out to my desktop, water project, and then just at the top level water project. But you'll notice in that folder there was our .git file in there that's going to contain all the information for this project, and as well as our solution file. All right, well, what do we want to do? We've got our, and by the way, make sure that we're on the right branch here. We can choose a different branch if we're not, but we want to make sure we're on the phase 2 branch now. All right, so where do we want to start? If we look at what we've done so far, let's go ahead and run our app. So I'm going to open Visual Studio as well, which I think will probably have my old project loaded up. So I'm actually going to open project or solution, and I'm going to navigate out to my water project folder and open the solution file. All right, so we've got that opened up. And if I run this now by going to I'll right click on the project, open in terminal, .NET. I started typing fun now, so I got to just remember to say run. .NET run, so our server's running in the background, waiting for requests. Well, it will be in a second. All right, so now it's running on these two different addresses, two different URLs. And then I come into my water project and I can run here. I got to cd into the front end folder first, and npm run dev. And so now we can go to the website. This is where we left off last time. So we're getting our data. It just doesn't look very good. Let's make it look a little bit better, right? Let's put some styling in here. I'm no expert on styling at all, but at least we can do some minimum styling to make this look a little bit better. So I'll come back to my program. We'll come into the front end folder, into our source folder, and into our project list folder. And what we want to do is just get basic Bootstrap into this project. And so we can do that by going up to the terminal. So in the terminal, we can say npm install Bootstrap. And we want to be in the same folder. Oh, okay. Glad I didn't run that yet. Hopefully you didn't either. We want to be into the front end folder. So we always want to be in the folder that has the package.json in it when we're doing these types of commands, because that applies to this project. That's kind of the main file in the world of React. So npm install Bootstrap, and that'll take a minute to get that installed. And then I'm going to go, I want Bootstrap for the entire project. If I just wanted it for this file, I could do an import in this file, but I'm actually going to go to the main tsx, which is our overall file for the project, and I can say in here import, and then we got to find where Bootstrap is. Well, it's in the node modules folder, so I say bootstrap /dist/css/ bootstrap.min.css is the name of the file. Okay, so I save, and we're all set there. And so now Bootstrap is going to be imported into our overall project. But how do we make it? I want to turn these into actual card looking things. So each one has a box around it and it looks a little more cardy. And so what do I do for that? So I can come in and I'm actually going to work in side-by-side mode here. So we can see these changes reflected, and I'm actually going to reverse. I want this one over here. And then this one over here. All right, so, excuse me. So in here, I've got Bootstrap installed or imported into the main now. It'll apply to all those components that are in here, including app, which app contains our project list. So in the actual project list now, I want to give some styling as we build these little cards. So this div that I wrapped around, that I had an ID of project card, I'm going to give a class name of card. So this alone will turn it into that box. And then for the stuff that comes under the project name, so we have the project name, the stuff that comes under it, I'm going to create a new div, and I'm going to grab all this unordered list inside that div, and that way I can apply styling to this list, and I'll say that the class name for this is the card body. Gotta spell class right. And then even in this H3 tag, I can say that this is the class name is equal to the card title. And hopefully you'll recall hopefully you've had some experience with CSS. Bootstrap is just one big list of CSS files. And it says, if I see an H3 that has a class name of card title, this is the way I'm going to style that. And if I find one that says card body, it just has a list of, sorry, I'm coughing. Obviously something at lunch. It's making me cough. So card body in this big list of CSS files says, hey, make it look like this. And so we save that. It looks largely the same to me. But anyway, and then I don't like these bullets. I don't like the way that this looks. And so is there something I can do about that? Well, sure enough, in the unordered list tag, I can say class name equals list unstyled. So save that. And now I've gotten rid of my bullet points, but I still have that in there. It still doesn't look great. I'd like these to stick out a little bit more. And so I can go in and put some inline stuff. I can say put in a strong tag and then drag this stuff over inside that strong tag or copy paste. So each of these I can put a strong in front of, which is going to make it, I'll show you after I do the next one. So you can Control X and Control V, whatever we want to do. When we save that, it's going to make these little things bold. And so, oh, I said string. See, too used to writing the word string. We'll do strong instead. How about? So strong. All right, save that. So now you can see that we're making those bold. We can do that on these last few. And I'm going to be typing fast here. This is always when things go south. More south than normal, you're saying. And yeah, that's true. Ouch, but yeah, that's true. Okay, so then we drag that in. Come on. We can do it. Strong, and drag this in. Okay, and then save. And now it looks a little more like it did on the other website, on the actual website. Okay, and then the other thing we didn't do that we ought to do is that we're doing this mapping thing, and it always wants to know what is the key, what is the main thing here. And so in our case, what is the key? We have a project ID, but we're not using it yet. So as we print these out, as we create this div that's going to hold the card, we want to add on here and say the key is equal to what? Well, it's going to be equal to the p.project ID, and that way each card will have a unique identifier with it as we try to access them later. And that's what we want. Okay, this is looking a little bit better. We'll continue on in the next video. Spencer out.